Good morning, welcome back to YouTube. This chair, I need a new chair. A full day of eating today, pretty much peak food. I say peak food, it's not, it's a lot of food. It may go a little bit higher still. Got, I think probably like 9 weeks now till prep, roughly 9, 10, somewhere around there. So yeah, food's high. I certainly don't enjoy food at the minute. Like, I wake up full and then have to eat a meal. So I'll get up, do my sort of half hour on the treadmill. Not really cardio at the minute because today's a training day. It's more so just steps, just to get my appetite going basically. Then I'll have meal one. So, you know, this is meal one. As you've seen it, I was just, you know, I wanted to get ready. I didn't have to speak to the camera just yet. So, bagel, some jam, rice pudding, and 60 grams of Calorie. You will notice from this video that I am part man, part fucking rice pudding at this point. Very dense, very easy carb source to eat. I haven't even flavoured it. This morning, literally just ate plain rice pudding. I'm at the point where food has no enjoyment to me. An intelligent person would still try to make it taste as nice as possible because then it's going to be very enjoyable to eat. I'm not an intelligent person, so I don't do that. I just make it as quickly and easy as possible, just pound it down. Because my issue right now is just the amount of time I'm having to spend cooking. I like to reduce that as much as possible. So, yeah, rice pudding is dead easy. Eat that now with all my sort of morning vitamins and stuff like that. I'm not going to include that in this video because it will be, that could honestly be a video in itself. The only one I have shown is the digestive stack, digestive enzyme plus from ESN, just because I think that's very on top of this video, right? I am eating a hell of a lot of food right now. That supplement specifically helps massively because it's going to make your digestion better, help break down all the sort of fats, proteins, fibers, and then, you know, your digestion is literally better. So you eat a meal, it digests quicker, so you get hungrier sooner, enabling you to eat the next meal, basically. So if you are someone who's on high food right now and you are struggling to eat, you are struggling with appetite, two things I do: increase your expenditure, just walk more, basically, and then also get a digestive enzyme plus from ESN, code Eagles. But yeah, that is meal one. It's like 7:30 right now. I get up about 6:30. I'm going to sit down and get on with check-ins for the next couple of hours. Then I'll eat my pre-workout meal, and I've got arms at the gym today. So yeah, I'll catch you for pre-workout. Okay, I have done a hell of a lot of work. It's now like 10 AM. Did a load of check-ins. I've got 2 more check-ins to do before I go and train. I've had a couple of phone calls. I drank a Crank Energy as well for a bit of caffeine because I was quite tired. I'm now going to get my pre-workout meal together, but the kitchen smells quite nice because Emily has meal prepped her food for today. I'm just going to... smells of tomatoes. I fucking don't like tomatoes. She's got some nice chicken, shredded chicken, peppers and tomato, right? So that's what nice food or like actual cooking looks like. I don't have time for that, so I'm gonna cook an absolute gourmet rice pudding. I have to say, this kitchen is not as aesthetic for filming 4 days of eating as my old one. It is a very nice kitchen, but it's not got an island, so it's quite hard to film and do stuff. So next time I get a house, like, #1 rule, it has to have an island so that I can film YouTube videos. Right, for those who don't know, rice pudding is just a lovely, nice, dense carb. It's similar to cream of rice, but way more carb dense. It's less volume for higher quantity of carbs. Digests unbelievably. It is literally my favourite carb source this off season. Been absolutely pounding it. You're meant to mix it with 3 times the water to rice pudding. So meaning if I put 100 grams of rice pudding in, I then need to put 300 grams of boiling water in to mix it. What I actually do, a little hack for you all, do like, let's fry, this is 175 grams of rice pudding, but to make the math simple, I did 100 grams of rice pudding. I'll then do 200 grams of boiling water, so it's a lot less volume. Let that set a little bit, and then I'll add just a splash of cold water just to make it a little bit less thick, but it also cools it down so I can eat it quicker. Just because, as I said, I'm very impatient when it comes to cooking, so that's what I've been doing. But I just mix it with slightly less than 3 times the water, just so it's even denser. With this meal, I'll also do 60 grams of Designer Whey. So with meal one today, I did the Iso Clear, which is a whey isolate. It's kind of like juice. More so just because the reason I don't do designer whey in that one in the morning is because it just kind of forces me to drink more water and hydrate, which is important in the morning because I've obviously not drank because I've been asleep all night. So having the ISO clear and then just a plain rice pudding, it is just a way to force me to drink like another 600 ml of cold water in the morning. Yeah, that meal one does change fair often. Like, you know, you do get sicker food, and the best way to be like keep your appetite high is just rotate meals and eat things you enjoy, within reason, obviously. So sometimes that meal will change from rice pudding to, like today I did a bagel and some rice pudding. Sometimes I'll do all rice pudding, sometimes I'll do all bagels. Sometimes I even do like a fish and rice for breakfast, but majority of the time it's some sort of combination of like some bagels or some sourdough with some rice pudding and then some ISO clear. Pre-workout, the entire off season has just been straight rice pudding, so 175 grams in here. As I said, made quite densely. The whey's just all mixed in now, so it's literally just a big bowl. That's really bad, you can't see anything, but it's just basically a big bowl of sludge. But I can pound it down really easily and it digests beautifully. So yeah, that's the secret to pre-workout. Just make a big old bowl of what looks like prison food. Sometimes I eat a banana, sometimes I don't. Feel like today I will, to be fair, kind of fancy a banana, so that's being eaten as well. And yeah, it's not like intuitive eating, but I mix and match throughout the day. I know roughly what I need to eat, so sometimes I'll eat this banana post-workout, sometimes I'll eat it pre-workout. Wouldn't say I'm hungry, but I'm not full for once, so I might as well get it in now, pre-workout, go and train arms, and I know that I've got my post-workout meal is already like a good 200 grams of carbs, so there's plenty there that I can move the banana pre. Again, some people would also cut this up and put it on the rice pudding. Me being me right now, I'm just gonna eat a banana and then just nail a bowl of sludge. So yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I'm not actually gonna film the session because this is a full day of eating, not a full day of eating and arms. I will film this session at some point. Probably, I'm gonna film a full day of the life at some point. This will probably be part of the session fit in there because don't think it's a session I've filmed before. I might have done, but I don't know. Effectively layout is I do 3 tricep exercises, 3 bicep exercises, shitloads of intensifiers, drop set, stress pauses. Exercises I just pick up the day. You know, I have a few that I'll typically run. It's arms at the end of the day. There's no real secret formula. It's just, you know, high volume, frequency, and get a massive pump with, you know, exercise you can get well with. So that's the format. Intra-workout that I drink is 75 grams of cyclodextrin and 20 grams of EAA. So not most exciting, but 75 grams of carbs going into the intra. Typically, obviously today's a much shorter session, but typically it'll be like probably 2.5 hours at the gym. So it's pretty important to get those carbs in still whilst I'm at the gym. Otherwise, I'm going nearly 3 hours without eating anything. Also helps to pump the performance and start that recovery process, but also just from a meat standpoint, helps to get my food in. So yeah, 25 grams of cyclodextrin, get a high quality carb powder like cyclodextrin so that you can digest it well, and it's not going to wreck your stomach. That's that. I'll do some closing at the end and catch you then.
Right, we are back from the gym. Post-workout meal, which is always the biggest carb meal of the day. We've got like 200 grams of Rice Krispies in there, standard procedure. I do occasionally change the cereal. You know, some days I have like frosted shreddies or just plain shreddies. Sometimes I have Frosties. Rice Krispies tends to be my favourite, but they are also like the most voluminous. But right now I'm pretty hungry, so it's not too bad. I'll do 400 ml of apple juice as well, just a really easy way to get some fast carbs in, and I like it. So, you know, 2 things there. Obviously post-workout, we're in that state where we sort of need to replenish the glycogen as quickly as possible, so the higher sugar, higher glycemic carbs, they're more appropriate here. You don't really want slow digesting food right now. We just want to replenish that glycogen and start that recovery process. So yeah, we've got 200 grams of Rice Krispies, 400 ml of apple juice, 75 grams of cinnamon cereal whey isolate. This is my favourite flavoured protein of all time. I have a whey isolate post-workout just again for the digestive reasons. I also like it because it's a little bit thinner whey isolate, so it's like makes a better milk because I just mix this with cold water from the fridge and that's my milk. And then I also chuck 30 grams of honey on top of that. Again, really just a way to get some easy carbs in. And that is that, that's 1400 calories. This one's 260 carb, pretty much 0 fats, and 80 grams of whey. So delightful. Very good macros, again, pretty minimal on the fats just because post-workout, don't want to slow the digestion. I will have a few more fats in the later meal. The next meal is actually probably the newest and the most exciting one, because before it was just kind of like 2 more fish and rice meals, but I have rotated one of those meals because I was getting a little bit fed up, and a little bit bored of it, so I'll show you that in a bit. I'm going to go and eat this whilst I do some work. I didn't pose post-workout because at the minute in Ultraflex it was absolutely rammed today, because the British Finals, which is a pro qualifier and there's also a pro show attached to it, is actually tomorrow in Rotherham. So there's like all the European people competing at that, all the UK people competing at that, really a load of them were in Ultraflex, which is great to see, but it also meant that they were all like a day out, so the posing room was just, you know, there was like a queue for it for like 20 minutes, so I'm fat, nobody wants to see me pose, let them have it, they're a day out, they need it more than me, so I gave up on that, but next video we'll get some in. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat this, and I'll catch up with you after, because I've got this to eat, work to do, and then another meal to cook, so catch you for meal 4. Meal 4. This is a pretty new meal, just a variation of what I've been doing previously. So typically now, actually, so far today, right, obviously there's been a lot of whey protein, and I mean, it's been 2 meals of rice pudding and whey protein, and then some cereal and whey protein. A lot of people will sit there and say, oh, you need to be eating whole foods and this, that, and the other. And potentially, sure, for some people, you may. For myself, whey protein, I've always utilised it throughout the 5 years I've been in bodybuilding, right? I love it. It digests so well for me, never once had any issues with it. I think that's largely because of the quality of proteins I've been using throughout my entire time. Like, obviously, the last year or so, I've been using, well, 6 months or so, I've been using ESN. But even before that, the quality of whey protein, it's always been, you know, top notch. And so with that, it digests so well that it's actually probably one of the best sources of protein you can get, one of the most complete. It's obviously very easy to consume and nice tasting. And right now, in the off-season, that digests a lot quicker than eating a shitload of chicken, for example. So during the off-season, typically I do tend to consume more protein from whey than during a diet. In a deficit, I tend to switch back more so to chicken, just because I'm eating a lot of chicken salads and stuff like that, because it's a lot more filling, you get a lot more volume out of it. But yeah, so that's why before everybody comments like, oh, processed diet and stuff like that, like, no mate, it's just preference. The next 2 meals now are literally typically just a rice and a meat. Now, that's been fine for a long time, and I may some days go back to that, but for today and what I've done a lot of this week really, I'm doing 2 of these massive wraps. They're like 50 gram of carbs per wrap, so pretty hefty. 2 of them, and then I'll do 100 grams of sushi rice with beef mince in the middle, so basically making a burrito, and I'll do like a little bit of pepper and stuff with that as well. And this is about as close as I ever get to cooking. You know, there's a bit of vegetables. I think pepper's a vegetable. Might be a fruit. I'm going to assume it's a vegetable. There's a bit of vegetables in there. So some beef mince. There's 2 different carb sources all in one meal. It's not just one carb source, one protein source, like 99% of my food is. So basically, we're living a little bit here. This is unknown territory. I also get this lovely toast thing. I've just slightly burnt my finger on. And toast the wraps. You can't even see me because it's so dark, but I'm not fixing it. Obviously, I tend to meal prep for a lot of the week, so I've just got my beef, my rice, and I've meal prepped a pepper. Look at that. Nice and meal prepped. Basically, I just bought it from the supermarket. I didn't even buy it and bought the peppers because I'm not being seen behind veg. Right, what I'm going to do just before I finish making this meal is my last meal of the day. I eat typically at about 9:30 PM, usually earlier, but on the days where I've got to go collect Em from work, which is today, it'll be about 9:30 p.m. by the time I eat it. I don't want to have to get in, film me making it, film me eating it, and then go to bed. I just want to get in, nail it, and go to bed. So it is literally going to be tilapia, which you can't see in there, but that is just some frozen fish. That's 2 fillets of tilapia. I'll cook both of them. I'll eat one today, one tomorrow. And then I have that with 150 grams of sushi rice. I do sushi rice all off season, just because it's so much easier to eat. I'd much prefer it. It's sticky, it comes together, it's a little bit denser, and it's a lot nicer. So that's a little off season hack, sushi rice for your rice rather than like jasmine or basmati. It's far easier to eat. In a prep environment, I'll go like to a long grain or to a jasmine rice, just because it's slightly more volumized, takes longer to eat because it's not stuck together, so you have to like fish out the little grains from the bottom of your bowl, and it just prolongs the meal. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, my last meal, I'll put the macros for this meal on screen now for my burritos. I also do 15 grams of olive oil across these 2 meals, so I do like, typically I'll do 10 with the beef mince and 5 with the fish later. Just a healthy fat source. What I may do on the odd day, maybe once, twice a week, usually on a rest day to be fair, I'll also grill some chorizo, however you pronounce it, the Spanish sausage. I'll grill some of that and put some of that in the wrap as well for even more flavour, because I really am a chef. I'm not doing it today because I can't be bothered, but it does add to it. It's nice. The only reason I don't do that daily is because it's obviously not the healthiest fat source, right? It's not great. That's more of an off-season treat, shall we say, that I'll do once or twice a week. Today I'm going to stick to olive oil because olive oil is very healthy fat, and that is that, right? So yeah, that's my meal for later, is fish and rice. I'll put the macros for that one on screen now, and I'll talk about daily totals and whatnot after I've eaten this meal in a little bit. It's definitely nicer with chorizo, how do you say it still, in it. I don't know where that puts me for today. I think I'm somewhere like close to 5k. Total macros for the day, if I eat 100% on plan, is just over 5.5k. 922 carb, 52 fat, 330 protein. I think it's meant to be 900 carb and 300 protein from what Tom set, but slightly over it. Typically as well, I'd say 3 or 4 nights a week, probably, if we had to put a number on it. I'll finish all my food for the day, and if I'm craving something, anything like that, like usually, let's be honest, I probably will have it today as well, because I'm not that full compared to what I normally am. I'll scrounge some cookies, or whatever's in the house. If Em's got some like sweets or just whatever I can scavenge from the house, which isn't normally a lot, I'll eat on top of my food, and that's kind of the way I operate when I'm at this point. Food's very, very high, and my body's utilising it. Typically, I'm someone who's quite a hard gainer. Like it is hard for my body to be pushing higher body fats and really pushing weight. It probably doesn't look like that way because obviously I do grow quite easily, but you will also notice that it's very hard for me to get like out of shape, even though I eat a lot. And I'd say more than most people, I probably do have a fair few more cheat meals and stuff in the off season. And that works so far because my body just sucks it all up and utilises it. If body fat was a concern and it was getting out of hand or rate of gain was going up too quickly, obviously those things would stop. But Tom and I have done this long enough, and I sort of know in myself what I can get away with and what's not going to hold me back. But the sort of key facts I look for there, if my digestion starts to be impacted, my appetite starts to be impacted, or body fat is just a mess, then I won't do any of those things. But typically for me right now, I'm on 1 to 2 off plans a week. Tom says 2, so that's 1 full off plan, as you've seen like post legs last video, and then also maybe like a cleaner off plan once a week, which I'd probably class as like that meal I just did, throw loads of chorizo in there, and then maybe like half pint of Ben & Jerry's or something on top of that. As like a home off plan with Emily. Typically I would do that. So that's that. As I said, I'd normally do cookies or something at the end of the day, like a cookie or 2 on top of my normal food. Doesn't bump up a crazy amount, maybe 2 cookies max, which will probably just land me just under or just over 6k. Reason I do it that way around is in eat all of my actual structured food for the day first, and then eat the cookies or anything on top at the end of the day. It's just because then I know I've hit my baseline. I know I've got all of the higher quality food sources in that I need to actually fuel my body for growth. And I'm also, if I wake up and eat cookies for breakfast, it's probably going to impact my appetite. It's also, after you've eaten some cookies, you're not going to go want to eat like a plain fish and rice. So just doing it this way around means that I get all my food in that I need for the day, and then I'm also fuller, so I actually want less shit food anyway, so I won't want to eat fucking a full pack of cookies. So yeah, that's just the way I structured it. It's what kind of typically a lot of open guys do as well. Like if you are, you know, you're in the off season, you can enjoy a bit of food, obviously within reason, but I'd always do it. Eat all of your entire day's baseline food first, and then a little bit on top, as long as that's not going to impact things, like I said. If it starts to affect your digestion, stop it. If it starts to affect your appetite, stop it. And if it starts to, you know, body fat's accumulating too quickly, you know, your rate of gain is a little quick, getting excessive, then cut it out. Water intake, I have this thing about drinking water out the fridge, and my new thing is drinking water out the fridge in glass bottles rather than plastic. You'll have seen that I have like a army of 1.5 litre bottles that I just keep in the fridge at all times. I've sort of decided now, after doing that for about 6 or 7 years, that I probably don't want all the microplastics to give me cancer. I might be 7 years too late to deciding that, but I've got one glass bottle, and for some reason cold water, it's all tap water, I just refill them as well, that's all tap water, but cold water from a fridge in a glass bottle does just taste nicer. It's more refreshing, so it hydrates you better, psychologically is what I've concluded there. So I'm going to buy some bigger glass bottles and then just only drink from glass bottles, and shakers, because I'm still an eater at heart. But that's my new discovery, is just glass bottles. So if you've not tried water out of glass bottles, mate, I promise you, go try it. But yeah, water intake for the day. I'm at the point, obviously, where I am quite full, hence there's not a lot of vegetables in here. All of the micronutrients and sort of vitamins and stuff are all covered with other supplements I take, greens, powders, and all your vitamin profile. But I've not gone into that in this video because that is quite long. But I'll do my sort of morning supplement stack in part of another video at some point, maybe like the day of the life, just to break it up a little bit. But water intake for the day is about 5 to 6 litres. Typically, it's probably a little bit higher on leg days just because I cramp otherwise, but for a standard day like today, it will land about 5 or 6 litres. I don't typically track it, but I just know how many of these I get through, and these I get through, and I can just roughly total it. So yeah, I don't let it get below that. I do have to consciously try and hit that at the moment, just because I am so full all the time. Drinking a load of water is not always the most pleasant thing to do, but it is necessary for performance and health, should we say. Sodium, I have about 5,000 milligrams total per day. Typically about 2 to 3 of that is on my pre-workout meal. The rest I just put across all my meals, like you just saw on my beef and rice. So I think that's pretty much everything. I'm trying to think of questions that people would have about my food. Favourite off plan is, depends on the mood, probably pizza or burgers. I'm not very exciting, as you know by now, with my off plans. Love cookies, can't go wrong with a bit of Ben Jerry's, but can't lie, that all sounds a bit grim right now. Just the odd bit here and there is what's pleasant. So that is that. It's now 6:30. As I said, I've got one more meal to eat. I only do 5 meals at the moment, just because I'd rather eat 5 bigger meals, because of everything I said this morning, like having to stop doing work to go and get a meal, cook it, eat it, or just meal prep it. It's all a headache, it's faff, I hate it. I think I hate eating more nowadays purely for the time it takes, more so than the actual having to eat. And that's just because I'm so busy. I'd rather just be doing work and not have to stop to eat, but that's life. You need to remember I'm a bodybuilder and not just work all the time. So now it's 6:30. I finished all my work for the day, but I'm a pretentious bodybuilder, so instead of being able to go and relax, I'm going to shave, like my arms and legs and stuff, and my chest, and everywhere gets really hairy. I become like a bear, and I'm not a big fan of body hair, so I like to stay shaved pretty much year round. And it takes ages, because I use a Phillips One blade, if anybody's wondering. That's the sort of best method I found. It just is very time consuming. So I'm going to go spend my Friday evening as a 22-year-old in his prime, shaving my legs alone in my house whilst talking to a camera. Didn't see myself being here when I was doing my A-levels, but here we are. We've got some lovely rainbow cookies, which is pretty alpha. Right, I've got them from work. I've had my fish and rice. I've shaved, I've showered, done for the day, eaten a cookie. Gonna have 2 cookies, and that'll round off the full day of eating. It'll put me just under 6K for the day. Some days I'm over, some days I'm under. Usually baseline's to 5.5, and then I'll have a few bits on top most days. The final bit that's worth noting, obviously I showed you the digestive Plus this morning, I'll take another 2 capsules of that with my last meal, last bit of food for the day. I also take some Biotic Pro, if it wants to focus, there you go. I take 1 capsule of this as well, as a probiotic, because you need a healthy gut biome, obviously. So that was that. I'm gonna wrap it up here. That was my full day of eating. That's what's turned me into this absolute fat mess. We've got 10 weeks maybe till I start dieting. We've got till Christmas. Straight after Christmas, it's game time, it's demon time, it's time to lose all my muscle and get shredded. That's the plan. Thanks for watching. Catch you next video. See you soon.